to mainstream the thinking of the soldiers. And I think that he was very successful in doing that. And the Ranaviru Real Star, I watched with amazement Sri Lankan military personnel performing, singing. And there was one Navy officer called Damien. He sang Master Sir. It's from a film called Kaludiya Dahara that I watched as a student. I was not supposed to have watched it. But I secretly went and saw that film. And I could still remember. And I think that the service personnel among us have tremendous talent. I want to conclude my presentation by paying a tribute to our brothers and sisters who are not with us. We lost some of our most brilliant leaders in this country. Probably our most brilliant leaders are not with us today. They are not with us. And I want to speak of, very briefly, of three people. One is Lakshman Kadiragama, who was our Minister of Foreign Affairs. He was my friend. And my last meeting with him was in New Delhi. And as I left Minister Kadiragama, I asked the Sri Lankan Defence Attaché at that time, who is now an admiral, I said, look after him. I think he did look after him, but it was beyond his control that Minister Kadiragama was killed. But that officer was one of the key officers that played a crucial role in detecting and dismantling the shipping network of the LTT. Minister Kadiragama paid a huge price for openly saying that LTT should not be the sole representatives of the Tamils. He was assassinated very brutally. Brilliant, Oxford-educated minister. But I can tell you of so many others. Another was Lalit Athulat Mudali. He was killed by a LTT cadre called Appaya Balakrishnan, who came from Batikro. He used a 9mm Browning, which LTT purchased in Lebanon. We lost another foreign minister, Ranjan Wijeratna, who was also Minister of State of Defense. LTT cadre called Prem killed him. So I want to say that we have lost so many leaders. We lost a Harvard-educated, brilliant lawyer, constitutional lawyer, Neelan Tiruchelvam, not far away from this hotel. Another Tamil who was killed. And during the peace talks, the commanding officer of the Military Intelligence Corps of the Sri Lanka Army, Colonel Nizam Mutalif, was killed. He was trained in Fort Huachuca in the United States, the intelligence school. He didn't live for more than a few years after that training to implement his operational plans. And his wife, his widow, was a colonel of the Women's Corps in the Sri Lankan Army. Today she has to bring up those children by herself. So I think we have suffered a lot as a nation. No country in this world has lost so many high-quality leaders as Sri Lanka. And I think that every day we live, we must think of those sacrifices. Not only service personnel, but so many ordinary civilians were killed. I remember speaking to a Tamil lady. She said that her son was a part of a sports team with the bombing in Maradana. And I said, tell me about what happened. She said, my son is a very unique son, a very special son. I said, why? He said, because he was a Tamil boy but studied in DSN Anayaka, Sinhala school. And he's the only son I had. She said that the marriage could not last after that. So I think that as a country we have suffered a lot, but we are very resilient people, able to forgive, forget, move forward and rebuild our country. And I think that reflects the spirit of our people, our ability to share. So as I conclude this presentation, I want to make one request to General Jagat Jayasuriya, because he was the Security Forces Commander in Vaunia when in the final phase of the campaign. He had the burden of receiving 280,000 civilians, and he admirably worked with his brother officers to resettle them. And I want to ask the General to make this conference an annual feature. I also want to ask the General, let us make the theme of next year's conference rehabilitation, resettlement, reintegration, and reconstruction. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this seminar. The Commander of the Army wishes to express his sincere gratitude and appreciation to all of you for being present at this seminar. And he also wishes to wish our guests from friendly foreign countries a pleasant stay and safe journey back home. Please join us at lunch at the lobby. Thank you.